Hari Hari Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Hari Nityananda 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Nityananda Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya 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 Nityananda 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya 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 Shri Oh my Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya 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 Shri Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Anybody wants to come on and chant, you can. Shri Krishna Chaitanya 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 Nityananda Nityananda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hari Hari Hare Rama Hari Hari Krishna Sri Krishna Chaitanya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ah, ah. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. You can put your microphone on there and chant with me. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hari Hari, Hari
Hare
Ram, Hari Ram,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Hari Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare
Hari Hari, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hari
Krishna,
Hari, Hari
Krishna
Ram, Hari
Krishna,
Ram.
Hare
Okay, I'll read a little bit now here. Whew. Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Hari Ram, Rama, Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hari Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Hari Ram, Rama, Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hari Krishna. Ah, Krishna. Hare Krishna. Continuing on, page 358 in this book. Page 358. So Murari prays, O Lord, please do not place me in any situation where I may deviate from the absolute truth, forgetting that you are the Supreme Lord and I am your eternal servant. Wherever you descend, accompanied by your eternal associates, I desire to be there as your insignificant servitor. The Lord replied, So be it, so be it. I grant you this boon. Hearing this, a jubilant uproar from the devotees filled the air. Uh, all the Vaishnava devotees were naturally very affectionately disposed to Murari, who was always compassionate to all living beings. Such was the purity of Murari's devotion, that merely by his presence would transform anywhere into a holy place of pilgrimage. So your turn, you continue reading.
Thank you. As transcendental as Vaikuntha, it is impossible to describe the greatness of Murari. Even the Supreme Lord advanced for the pleasure of Murari. Lord Caitanya then declared, All of you listen carefully. If anyone criticizes Murari, he cannot be saved by even a million dips in the Ganga. In fact, the baths in the Ganga or even the chanting of Lord Hari's name will certainly destroy such a sinful wretch.
Yeah, I mean, in other words, you the devotees, they're the pure devotional potency in this world manifested to the world. Otherwise, you can't know what it is. So, I mean, you criticize, and many people will, especially when they're preaching at first, at least. But that's the whole thing. It's just a matter of fact. You won't be delivered until you recognize the devotee and you begin to realize their value. Otherwise, you just don't get out of this place. It's like the warden of a prison. The warden has the authority. See, they give the pardon. Well, actually, it's the governor, who can give you a pardon. But the governor is Krishna, and they govern. The governor governs the warden here in the world and manifests his will through the warden. The governor could say, "I want to give you a pardon," but there's no warden in the jail. There's nobody, because the Lord works through his servants. There's nobody to give the pardon. There's no warden there. So the warden is the bona fide spiritual master or the real associates of the Lord. So you just don't get out until you can recognize them. Because if you can recognize them, you realize their value, and you come under that shelter and you get purified. See, otherwise you can't get. How are you going to get out of this material universe if you don't have this ecstatic devotion? People don't even know what it is. They don't even know the value. I have people even coming here after like even 3 months. They don't know the value. They think, oh, I don't know if I want to chant. Oh, I don't think I need that. Are you kidding? This is, and until these people recognize that this is different than demigod worship, oh, great. This is different than demigod worship. This is different than the mode of goodness. This is different than astrology. This is different than any of that stuff because that won't deliver you. This is different than angels, because the angels don't take your sadness away that I've seen. That they're good. I see a lot of good people, like even Sachi knows. Good people, they still can have sadness. It's not strong enough to take our material sadness and misery away. You need the transcendental potency, and that's given only by those rare persons that come here and are chosen to do this. And then when you come and you get purified, then you're chosen, man. You're a chosen one, And then you distribute that because now you've learned what is actually spiritual. Nobody knows, you know and that's the whole thing. This is a great opportunity here for people to become purified and know what is actually spiritual to the point of tasting that, having their transcendental senses being awakened. I mean, this is all explanation of what Jesus meant. You must be born again. That's one big parable, man. That's something that is very mystical. This is all explained in the Vedas. You must have your transcendental senses awakened. Didn't that give you some more clarity, some more like you can like understand that better? Yeah, you need that. You have transcendental senses. You have a transcendental body. It's inside your temple there. You go inside a temple, right? It's the same kind of thing, idea. You go inside the temple, you see the deity. See, when you go inside the devotee, the deity is there. Okay? But the real devotee is not the dormant deity. The dormant deity is dormant. It's like you go to the temple and you don't really see the deity because it doesn't bring on tears and love, real symptoms of ecstatic love. You go to the devotee, you have a better chance of getting purified. Because they talk to you. The same deity is in the temple, but it's not dormant. Like if I go to Sachi or I go to anybody, not Sachi, if I go to some mundane person, the deity's there, but it's not awakened, and so you don't notice it. They can't call your attention to it, right? They don't speak the deity's words. They don't speak conclusive truth. They just, the deity is dormant, and but the deity is there in a sense, Maya deity, the illusory energy deity is there, the mode of goodness, passion, ignorance deity, and they speak all either nonsense in the mode of passion or ignorance or goodness. That's still nonsense. It doesn't make any sense. See, this you have to hear from devotees because what they say makes sense. They because of bhakti, they explain the actual scriptures, and then you say, "Oh, wow, I understand them now." See, you can't understand them by speculations and by not knowing what is the spiritual potency. You got to at least see it and come regularly and get purified and get an experience of something very rare. You have a gradual awakening of experience of what is spiritual by the mercy of Guru and that Lord in your heart that begins to awaken. Now, calm down there, Freddie. Go ahead
Delete
there.
that comment.
No, we're just joking. He's okay. Go ahead there, Tom.
Yes.
Don't take these things seriously. Go ahead.
That's why I stopped going to a gathering. The men should be that kind of talk is with the men, not co-ed.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead, Tom.
Again, where did I left? It's impossible to describe the greatness of Murari. Even the Supreme Lord advanced for the pleasure of Murari. Lord Chaitanya then declared, "All of you listen carefully. If anyone criticizes Murari, he cannot be saved even by a million dips in the Ganga. In fact, the baths in the Ganga or even the chanting of Lord Hari's name will certainly destroy such a sinful wretch."
Yeah, and
Murari,
that's why Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, is so that they wouldn't criticize him because of ecstasy. Because he was ecstatic and he was, and so if he followed more of the rules and regulations and all that, they think, oh, he's a very good Brahmin, a very good sannyasi. So get less criticism, and he still got ecstatic because what can he do? He's just, God is ecstatic and he came to express himself as much as possible. So he fully expressed himself through Nityananda. See, Nityananda he showed God to everybody. It didn't matter who, what, whatever, but he got the criticism. And so Lord Chaitanya took a different approach. He says, "Well, I'll try and get those that run away from Nityananda, and I'll be a little more, like everybody else." Nityananda was avadut, just if he sometimes would take his clothes off and just walk down the street, yeah, this, yeah, yeah. Go ahead there, Tom.
Murari Gupta. The Supreme Lord is Gupta, secretly seated in Murari's heart. This is the spiritual import of Murari Gupta's name.
Yeah, and see, this is where like Bhakti Vinod said, when the acharyas ascertain the confidential truths of these Vedas, they're confidential and they're very deep and they're very esoteric, and they trigger people. So usually, see, they get you purified. You purify. You just all of a sudden, all your stuff comes out. See, so usually the acharyas, they understand the purport in their heart that they study, but it's Gupta. They keep it secret in their heart. And then they'll just, if they're preaching or teaching, they teach you like more moral dharma shastras, about the right dharma for the mode of goodness, get you, to be a good person and, eat right and be a vegetarian, stuff like that. This is more, to keep you in the mode of goodness. See, and so, but the secret stuff, that's they keep in their heart. See, like the Pharisees, all they could teach you was to do follow rules, regulations, fast, study the scriptures, and give them lots of money. They couldn't give you the confidential truths that only a person like Jesus knows, because it's Gupta. The Lord is in their heart, and and so that's their treasure. So sometimes they get the order. Nityananda got the order. Lord Caitanya, God, said, "Go out and give this treasure to people. Whoever will accept it will get it." See, and that's why you see this teaching here is to help humanity at some point realize that it's all about accepting his treasures. Those treasures are his devotees, and they have the treasure of Krishna in their heart, and they expose that confidential Krishna usually to their disciples, people who like them or receptive and accept them, accept their feelings, their ecstatic feelings, accept their conclusions, even though sometimes they're hard to accept because their mind thinks differently than a man, just an ordinary person thinks and feels. It's like that saying in the Bible: uh, God's mind is not like your mind. This is the prophet said. See, so the prophet's mind is more like God's mind. They think like. See, they share the same heart. They share the same kind of feelings. Therefore, they share the same kind of thoughts. That's why another reason you need an embodied manifestation of servitor Godhead in this world. Otherwise, you'll never know the Lord. He's different than anything in the universe. He's different than the demigods. He's the same and different. See? But he's the same in the form of a demigod, but different in his spiritual form. The only place where he's the same and different in his spiritual form is in a devotee. He's the same ecstatic personality in his spiritual form, and he's the same ecstatic personality in his servitor form as the spiritual master or associate. He's the same conclusive understanding in the spiritual form as he is in the spiritual master. In that's why usually the acharyas, the pure devotees, unless they get the order, they keep these confidential things in there because it's powerful. Their word gets things moving, man. It gets things shaken. That's why Jesus said, "Don't think I came here to promote peace. I came to divide. Those who are meant for the kingdom of God come over here, and they take shelter, and they get in. They get the eternal life. And those who don't, they stay out there. They stay outside." So that's just how this rolls. And so Nityananda got the order, okay, go collect those who are ready to go back. Advaita also, you got the order. You teach anybody and everybody the confidential truths about Vrindavan, the highest realm, and whoever will come under your shelter. So Advaita and Nityananda, many people started to follow them. Come under their shelter, and they got eternal life. This is how it works. Always worked like this. It was like that with Jesus. Jesus says, "Whoever believes in me, follows me, they get eternal life. I give them eternal life." The Lord gives devotees to devotees. He gives the big brother is your way out of here. And as soon as you lose faith in that, you're thrown back into the world pile. So that's how deliverance is. How are you going to know who and what God is? How are you going to know God's mind unless you're purified by association with a person who speaks God's mind to you? That's the scriptures. That's the essence of scriptures, is God's mind. How are you going to be purified or know God, the God, unless you see God's emotions here manifested in a devotee who shares the same heart as the Lord? Okay? This is the science of self-realization taught here in this Sangha, not holding back. See, Bhaktisiddhanta didn't teach this kind of confidential science to his disciples. Not, they didn't. They had to be very advanced to get such a teaching. Prabhupada just got it intuitively, because he was sent here. He could pick it up like that. Bhakti Vinod was already like that also, sent here. But most have to follow, not most, almost everyone has to follow the real process, unless you're sent here. If you're sent here, prove it, man. Let's see your ecstatic devotion. Oh yeah, let's see your conclusive understanding of the group that's in vision of the revealed scriptures. Let's see you deliver a few people. Otherwise, get your fat ass off the Vyasa-san. You're just a show bottle, a showman or woman. Hey man, this is Veda Vyasa-san. This is for those who are the same family, man. That means you have the mind of Veda Vyasa. Veda Vyasa had the mind of God. That's Bhagavatam, is the mind of God. Hey, parampara, that's right there, Amy. That's how it is. Yeah, so anybody coming here, and they get a little of the grace, and then they, oh, hey, this is not my path. Oh, you stupid fool. You'll just dry up there. Hey, that's not getting enough association. This is an opportunity for those who are ready to be delivered. If you come here, you can be delivered. Yeah.
Amy mentioned Eric Groon. I remember him. You remember him, Gorhard?
Yeah, yeah, Eric. Yeah, he left because he was. It's the same old stuff. Just wanting to be teacher and oh, Jesus is the only way. Yes, yes. He got contaminated by the salvation teaching. There's so much speculation in the Bible. The Bible's been through all these editors. That they edited it so Jesus is the only way, right? So that everybody has to go through Jesus, but it's not the real Jesus, really. It's through their version of Jesus. So when they're in power, that you got to go through them. You got to go through the Pope, the poopy popes, and these guys. It's material motivation. It's not. It's always in Vaishnavism the same thing. Same thing. Uh, Usually they teach the spiritual master is the only way, right? So they all pop up like lilies in the field, thousands of spiritual masters. Yeah, they're the only way, right? Yeah, but they're not even spiritual. They don't have the mind of Krishna. They speculate. They don't have the emotions of God. They don't have the emotions of the Lord are like Lord Chaitanya's emotions. Nityananda's emotions. They are followers' emotions. Where do you see those emotions now? You know that? Where do you see them manifest? People should come here. We'll give you some psychotherapy. You're not thinking straight. You don't can't even put two and two together. People are out there. You were looking for guru? Well, you should be. Like they said, yeah, you must have a spiritual master. Not one of these guys, unless they got spiritual emotions. And unless it's mature, to the point where they're conclusive and people can check what they say, and it's actually the essence is in the scriptures. You can say, well, the Lord is really using this for he's a by medium or she's a by medium.
I want to agree with Amy. Maybe Eric came to get her here. So there. Look
Yeah,
at the bright side.
yeah. Let's look at the bright side. No, it's good. Hey, everybody that comes makes some progress. The Lord's a very grateful person. Yeah. Yeah, still, you got to figure it out. I mean, what good? I mean, it's great. You came and you brought a few people, but it would be nice that you figure it out so you're not, you're not stay contaminated, right? So whoever does is fortunate. If not, you get some brownie points. It's great, brownie points. They add up.
Everybody needs their time. We all need our time. However long it takes.
Says speaks the turtle, right? So speaks the turtle. The turtle dove. Go ahead, Tom. Read a little bit.
Chanting Krishna's name. Wait. The Supreme Lord is Gupta, secretly seated in Murari's heart. This is the spiritual import of Murari's Gupta's name. Chanting Krishna's name, the Vaishnava devotees began to weep in ecstasy, seeing how Lord Chaitanya had showered his mercy upon Murari. Wow. This is the practical empowering. Anyone who hears these pastimes of Lord Chaitanya's extraordinary magnanimity will receive Krishna Prema. Wow. Wow.
Say that again. Read that sentence again.
Anyone who hears these pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, of Lord Chaitanya's extraordinary magnanimity, will receive Krishna Prema.
Yeah, you got to see, hear them. That means you got to hear them from real devotees, and you make very quick advancement to the level of prema. But if you hear from somebody who doesn't really hear yet, because they're not on the transcendental platform, they don't understand the Lord's mind, they don't understand the Lord's heart. So it's not really like hearing. I mean, but it's better to hear from a realized devotee who who you're hearing from, and you're hearing the words that he understands and knows. He knows the language of Lord Caitanya and the teachings and the feelings of Lord Caitanya. Then it's going to go quicker, right? It's only logical. People, see, the thing is, they just don't know the plain and simple standard for being delivered. That's what I'm here to kind of help people understand. Just very simple. It's very easy to be delivered when there's somebody that a deliverer is here. They deliver you Krishna. See, they awaken your relationship with the Lord, right? Now that's being delivered. And there are symptoms. If you're delivered, then sometimes you cry and laugh and choke up, and when you're chanting the Lord's name or pastimes or qualities. You'd be very blissful. Go ahead, Tom.
While Murari and Sridhar wept in Krishna Prema, being in front of the Lord Chaitanya chewed on the battle pan, making loud, cracking sounds. Lord Chaitanya then turned his benign glance on Haridas and called out, Haridas, look at me. Your body and birth is superior to mine. Your class and caste is more elevated than mine. Although that sinful Muslim tormentor inflicted great pain on you, yet in my heart I hesitate to punish him for that would surely disturb you. Such is your compassionate nature.
That's what I'm talking about. See, Hari Das was so purified from his chanting, and he was like Lord Brahma anyway. Uh, so he comes into this life. See, he was sent, and so he started chanting, and he becomes ecstatic because that's what the method that Lord Brahma says. Lord Brahma likes to chant the names, just like Shiva. Also, they're chanters. They like to chant. you know. And so he came, and it was his habit as Lord Brahma chanting, and he came chanting as a descendant in the Muslim. Kind of came like a Sudra, like Vidura did in the Krishna Lila. So Brahma comes. So Vidura, who was Yamaraj, came as, Vidura came, well, Brahma, Yamaraj came as Vidura. And so Brahma comes as Haridas, and very ecstatic, and very purified by this chanting. And so the Lord's saying, "Oh, you're compassionate," but he's talking about himself. Haridas, and see, the devotees and the Lord, they share the same heart. They're that pure. That's why we need their association. See, then you see the compassion of a devote of the Lord manifested on the mirror of the devotee. See, otherwise you don't know that compassion. It's inside your heart, and you're cut off from it. You got to be a recipient of that mercy. See? The guru is that mercy of that Lord in your heart, bringing you to deliverance. And when you really get that, then you see how then you're delivered. You get that, and you're so appreciative and grateful, and you owe your guru, just like the name of Krishna is your treasure.
Yeah.
How do I know that? I look at Vilita Ganga, and I look at Johan. I look at Janaki. I look at a lot of devotees who realize that. Look how ecstatic they are. So I even learn. They chant the Guru's name. Look at River, chants her Guru's name in ecstasy, tears come, and all that. Wow, it's amazing. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead. What?
Yeah, Govinda, he was the Govinda Das. He was telling me
Govinda.
today that this relationship with this functional um, devotee, yeah, it's like he is a functional limb of the Lord.
Mhm.
This relationship being like a limb, it was told like that.
Well, more than that, he's the is a manifestation of the Lord's everything, a manifestation of the Lord's mind because they know the Shastras. See, people they think I'm Rhythmic, I read Prabhupada's books, and I understand everything, but they don't really represent a purified mind. You know, that's why these guys, real devotees, have to be sent because it's not easy to get. Well, it's easy if you find a real devotee that's a real devotee, an empowered devotee who represents the Lord's mind and emotions here in the world and is teaching that, which, see, you not holding it back and teaching you rules and regulations and ceremonies, but teaching you about the glories of the Lord's mind, which is conclusive truth, and the glories of ecstatic emotion and how important it is just to be around it. Hey, that's what you got to see. Otherwise, dormant in the heart stays dormant. That's why, by the mercy of Krishna, you get a guru like that in some lifetime. And that by the mercy of Krishna, you get a relationship with that dormant God in your heart becomes awakened in that association. It's the only way it can practically, functionally be manifested. Wiggly. This idea of doing it rhythmically is ridiculous. That's why people they come here, look, and in just short time they get ecstatic devotion. You know, they get all juiced up on bhakti. They manifest what nobody's manifesting in any of these sanghas, not even one, not even amongst the Radhakund Babajis. What's going on here is different from all the Vaishnavas. It's so fun. Can you imagine, Sachi? We can't even get a class. They won't even let us speak about the truths that we've learned and that we promote here. That
Let
work.
me, I want to say something
Of course you do.
about about Jesus. Jesus is he's here, but he's a separate person. He's and I can go, it's been a while, but I can still go to a church and really feel Jesus. I don't, and it's Jesus. It's not Gorhari. It's not Krishna. It's Jesus.
Uh-huh.
So, we're it's a you're we're separate manifestations of God. We're individual. Just, I don't know. I got a little bit of a concern about how people that start thinking of themselves, myself included, as being Krishna or being Jesus and stuff. That's all.
Yeah, yeah.
Janardhan made a comment that helped bring that up. He said Jesus was here, but he's he's his own entity. And
Yeah,
sometimes I can't reach Krishna and I can't reach you, or whatever. And I just call on Jesus and it feels good.
yeah. Yeah, because it's true. Jesus is that's what all devotees are are unique. See, they're unique manifestations. Just like the Lord, there's no one like Krishna. Even though like the devotee is the same and different, they have a unique form. There's nothing, Jesus has a unique form, unique form. So does all devotees, every one of them. Rupa Goswami, Krishnadas, Kaviraj, and they express that themselves through their writings or teachings or whatever. So it's the Lord coming through them. It's kind of like I remember when I was playing classical guitar. I learned it for 6 months. The only thing I stuck with. So anyway, I go and at first I say I want to buy a guitar, and they have all these guitars on the wall. And so I tried them all. I said, well, they all sound the same, to me. And the guy says, well, no, this isn't a really expensive one. But I said, wow, just hear the sounds in tune and everything. Okay? So purification and actually practice, after a while I could tell, oh wow, these different guitars have different sounds, they're different, and all that. Same thing with Krishna consciousness. As you're getting purified, you see the spiritual bodies are the instruments of the Lord. Jesus, Prabhupada, Krishnadas Kaviraj. It's all one family. And they share the same heart with God. But not everybody does in the world. They do, but it's dormant. They don't know they share the same heart. Only a devotee. They know more how they share the same heart. See, they're purified. That's why you want to get this. You want to get out of this prison quick. You get some, and somehow you got to. If you can recognize a real devotee who is empowered by the transcendental Lord, man, they're your lifeline. They're your pardon. Otherwise, you gotta, take another round here. You gotta be pure. You gotta learn what is spiritual, and that takes purification, man. That takes mercy. You have to know that it's the spiritual form of God and Krishna and Lord Caitanya and Jesus. You got to know really clearly it's different than something in the mode of goodness. A lot of people may get comfort, like you may get comfort from Jesus, but do you really know Jesus? It's like a lot of people get comfort from Prabhupada, but they don't really know him that well. They could know him better. That's why people come here. You could know Jesus better. You could know Prabhupada better. You could know if you're around a devotee who knows them better. See? Because if you know them better, you don't got fear. If you know them better, you're free. If you know them better, you got empowered. It's transcendental empowerment. See? And so that's why you got to learn from big brother and big sister. If you want to progress. Yeah. What else you got to say, Sachi?
I was going to say something earlier. Oh yeah, about not being invited to the classes and stuff like that. Gora, you got to show up at a temple, and then if you show up, I will say, let's say if you were to show up at the Tucson temple, I would say, you guys got to put him on let him talk.
Yeah, they ain't gonna do it. I'm
They
showing up.
might if I said so.
I'm showing up here. I'm showing up. they got anybody can watch these videos, but they don't. They can watch them in Tucson and all that, but they don't. So anyway, whatever it is, and it's okay.
We don't know. We don't know who in secret's watching.
Well, thing is, if they get it, I'm just saying that's just how it is. It's another devotional service, and they don't understand this, and they don't see its value yet. And I'm only using it for preaching. I don't really care, to go to somewhere where you can't fit in your word. There's nothing. There's no room. Somebody listening to you and thinking, it's not. When it is time, the Lord will give a sign, right? The Lord will give a sign, a signal. Somebody come. Oh, come. So, in the meantime, what? Why wouldn't I be satisfied? I got 16 people midday watching. Right? I'm satisfied.
In the meantime, I've got to hear you saying all this stuff about the other gurus, all that stuff, and it's like, I don't know what to do with it.
What to do with it? What do you have any faith in those gurus or something?
What I have faith in is not talking badly about others, I guess, is what it is. And and I'm still working, and more I'm speaking truth,
Hmm.
but it's I'd rather kind of like sneak up on it, and instead of being so blatantly blatant, sneak around and, without them knowing I'm doing it kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not
I
my style.
haven't perfected that yet.
Not my style. Maybe that's your style, not my style.
That is also the character in these churches. Eh? You are supposed to listen, but you are not to. You are supposed to hold back and not express. There
Mm.
is no possibility to express your own truth and your own upgrades and your own realizations. So you are like conditioned to hold back.
Yeah, it's just kind of like also in the world, they, especially now, they're really like suppressing everything, suppressing truth and everything. This one lady, she, this, it's, every day I have this thing where the news pops up. So I look at it every day. The news pops up. It's all the CNN stuff. And every day, two, three people are young, usually, like anywhere between 1 and 3 people die. And they're usually pretty young, 20s to 40s. And so I go and check out their stories. So this one lady just died today. So, and she's 49, kind of famous person. And, uh, and so she got three of those, what's, and, three, the booster, everything. And and so she had the heart attack, and they don't mention anything to do that it was possible to do with that. But then they said, oh, there's some conspiracy theorists who's saying that. So anyway, I go look it up, and I go look at the Google search, and some things come up, and immediately the political fact says, oh, this is false, this is false, this is fake news, this is not true. It's not true that this was actually caused by there's no proof. There's no proof. The husband said she just had a cardiac arrest, which is, it's just, it's like how they're juggling the words. So anyway, this goes on over and over and over again. But that's the world. They don't want you to know the truth. That's the Maya. Even in religion, they don't want you to know the full truth. If you did, you'd leave every one of those gurus, unless you're artificially or materially, sentimentally attached to them, which many are.
So if
But
Krishna is behind all this, if Krishna is behind everything, then where is it we're even to speak up? You know? If it's like if that lady it was her time, you know, how, where do we speak up? Where do we find the balance? Where do we draw the line?
well, it's called truth. The truth will set you free. That's the whole problem. People, yeah, if it was her time because she did this because people are telling her lies and she believes the lies, that it's all ignorance and lies. It's the same thing in religion. People are telling people, oh, these gurus can deliver you. That's a lie. They can't. They don't have the power unless they have the qualification. What is their qualifications? What I'm here to teach. So when do you speak up? Well, when you get the power to speak up, when the truth has set you free. And then I just speak up spontaneously. I like telling people. I like leading them out of illusion. I like telling people, hey man, that piano player, unless he has love of God, he can't deliver you. You think he can. That's a lie. That's an illusion. That's ignorance.
Okay, well, I'll speak up, and I'll speak up. Some of these things we chat on here, we're hard on each other. I feel like I don't feel like in this sangha we're too hard on each other sometimes.
Hard, soft. What's the
That's
difference?
my opinion, and that's why I speak up. That's my truth.
Yeah. Okay, good.
So there.
Hard as a thunderbolt and soft like what was the Sometimes hard like a thunderbird.
soft like a
Why
flower.
don't we be sweet? Have a little
Both.
sweetness.
We need both. We need the truth. Yeah.
Hey, you want sweetness? Go to your sister. We know how she operates, right? Very sweet. But inside,
No,
ooh.
she's got some sweetness, but she's got this other stuff.
Yeah, that's the mode of goodness. That was Daksha was like that. Daksha was very sweet, spoke sweet words, and inside all kinds of envies and jealousies and all
Okay, so
kinds of.
you're saying that all of us in our chats, we got some sweet, but we also got this other stuff in there too. And this is
What
a
is,
reflection of the other stuff.
what
Sorry,
is
guys.
No, I'm not saying that.
I just think we're hard on each other sometimes.
Is it hard or is it clear?
So why can't just you be yourself like you're doing, and they'll be themselves. And
I will, then, I guess.
do you want to control them or something? You want them to be some? Just let them. You just do your thing. Let them do their thing. Freddie. Freddie likes to do likes to say what he says.
It's not just Freddie.
Yeah.
But that's just how I feel sometimes, that's all. I feel like we're a little bit harsh on each other, that's all.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Move on. Moving on.
We were reading, yes. Hesitate to punish him for that.
Oh, wait. Tom, read some of the comments. Read Shamaguri's here. It says, I was preaching to a friend.
I was preaching to a friend of mine today, and she agreed with me as it came to talking about that kind of Christ religion. No real substance, no Holy Spirit.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people in the Christian religion that they don't have the spirit. It's like the Vaishnavas. They don't have that level yet, awakened. It's not their time yet. And so yeah, it's just kind of that. But then there are some Christians who have the Holy Spirit, but it's not really clearly identified. There's a lot of I've noticed Christians who they claim to have the Holy Spirit, and it might be they think what it is, but it's not really. I have my doubts because it doesn't have the symptoms. So there's a lot of alloys and mixtures and impurities, and I'm so happy. This is the way to go, man. I like clean Holy Spirit, clean bhakti, getting cleaner all the time. It's great. It's really nice. Yeah, we had to start our own thing, to get it right, to tweak everything nicely. Okay. Read some other comments there. Anyone you wish that seems interesting to you.
Let's see. Yeah, I don't know if it's relevant, but it starts with Janardhan Das. I used to sell Boy Scout cookies. I used to sell Boy Scout cookies. And then Amy Rose, of course you did. I bet you sold a lot too. Janardhan Das, Amy Rose, oh yeah. And then Freddie, of course, I used to eat cookies as a Boy Scout. To eat cookies. I used to eat cookies as a Boy Scout, as a Boy Scout. Yeah. But I don't know if it's relevant for, yeah. They're dealing with cookies sometimes, yes. Maybe it's about real stuff, substance, and cookies. Tarun Krishnadas, this is a transcendental grace place. Yes, this is a transcendental grace place. Hear this with ears to hear. Janardhan Das. I was looking for Jesus all my life, and I finally found him here. Mr. Functional is in the room. Yeah. Steady Freddy. Lalita Ganga. We don't need to go to a church to find Jesus. Go to Srila Gaurahari Das and find Jesus right away. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you find like Jesus, not Jesus, like Jesus. Jesus was conclusive as much as he said. I had more to tell you, So anyway, and all the editors and all that. Of course, we got to just take that into consideration. But Jesus is Jesus. He's the eternal servant of the Lord. If you're a real devotee, then you're eternal servant of the Lord like Jesus. You bring in the transcendental potency like Jesus did, the Holy Spirit. You have the power to purify people. The Lord gives you that potency. So you're like Jesus, but you're you. Gauri Das is Gauri Das. Jesus is Jesus. Prabhupada is Prabhupada. You know? They got a kind of a flavor like ice cream. Transcendental ice cream. Yeah, and as you get purified, you're able to partake of that more and more. Okay, read on. Read some more.
He's reading old stuff. He's reading stuff we've already been through, some of it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Why don't you go to the end? Well, you know what? No, just read. No, that's enough. Read. Well, actually, wait a second here. Yeah. You know what? Why don't you read some of the new stuff there, Sachi? You read.
I don't know. I might be a little sensitive now. So I just want to say, a lot of times I'm realizing when we say something, we're going through it too. We're talking about our own self too. We don't always know it. That it's our own self. Anyway, it's tough. As far as the gurus go, that I don't have any much experience with them, because I met you and Krishna at the same time, and I wasn't looking for a guru. I was looking for God. And so, but when I go to the temple and I see what they talk about and stuff, like the other night, there was such a dry kirtan. I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't, just couldn't handle it. And we weren't supposed to play cartels because the guy's ears. So I went up to him and said, why don't you put on some earplugs, let him clamor. The kirtans are to have fun, And, but, and I know that we've talked about this before, and I haven't experienced it too much, the dryness and everything. But I get glimpses of it here and there. And the ones that are the partiers, the real fun ones went off to India for 5 months. And I told the guru, I told them I thought 5 months was too much for your first time in India. It's too long. And, but yeah, and you know what? I could speak up to the guru, but I don't. I think of that. I think of it. I have supported people who have spoke up to him, the one that's here the most, gone to India now, but. And it's true what you're saying, but it's like, what can I do about it except for sit there and stir, when I hear you talk about it, because we can't get out there and control everybody. And if I start speaking about this one that's here the most, they won't even let me come back there for kirtans. But if they're good, if they're going to be dry like the other night, I'm going to be like, I don't want to be here. But we'll see. It's not always like that.
Nobody's asking you to speak up. I didn't ask you. I'm just making things clear. You
Well,
gotta.
sometimes I want to speak up because you tell and you tell and you tell and I'm like, I should, but I'm not able to. I'm not. I want to be able to chant with others. And in congregational chanting is like number one for me. That's when I get something.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you know what, Sachi? I think this is a little bit more purification. I think that's good. You know, when you come up and you get triggered, like things are up like this. Well, let's take it so far, but I don't want to spend my whole time
Okay,
processing.
so do you want me to read the comments or just go off or
Well,
what? You,
if
it's
you
like,
it's up to you. But the thing is, I'm doing a talk here and not a whole processing, because I know you need to integrate this stuff, but there'd be another time. So maybe sometimes you come on for a while, and if you get too triggered and everything, then you may go off. But let's try it. Let's experiment. You can read some Chaitanya Bhagavat there. You have that book, right? Start where he's leaving, left off. See, because sometimes the processing, it's another kind of energy. So
well, honestly, I'm feeling like now I'm not being obedient to you like you want others, like the others are. So maybe I
yeah,
should just go off and you guys have your class.
well, I'm trying to keep it going. We could probably, if you want, you can go off. If we want, you can give this a try and read, and let's see how it goes. Let's see. I'm open to experimentation.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, what I feel she said she loved to do chanting together, this congregational chanting,
Mhm.
and so it feels nice to find a moment that we can chant with her, maybe in the beginning of the class or something,
Chant with who?
with Mary Sachi.
Yeah. Well,
She
yeah. Well,
said she wants to she loves this congregational chanting, and maybe
yeah.
she
Well, she can
she
she
wants to
can
do it
come on
more.
anytime. Yeah, she can come on
Yeah.
and chant.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also though need to have I need to have other devotee association too. I can be here, but I do good in other groups too. I just need a little bit of everything. I'm different from everybody's different, and
Yeah.
that's
You
how I
gotta get.
am.
Yeah. Good.
And so and yeah, and it's we have to accept that, of each other. We're all going to be a little different, and we're
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
yeah, we're all going to push each other's buttons at times. So
Give her the page and everything. Where you're reading. We're just gonna read a few more minutes because it's getting late for me. I haven't even eaten anything yet. So
Let's see. I
I've
hope it's
been
the right one. The 363.
are we all the way over to Madhya
just get the page number. That's all you need.
363, if I'm right.
Well, I can just start reading at 363. A tumultuous sound of joy from the Vaishnavas greeted Lord Chaitanya's boon to Haridas Thakur. High birth, caste, fruitive activities, and wealth are worthless commodities to achieve Krishna Prem. Only the intense, loving desire for Krishna can bring one to his lotus feet. A Vaishnava may take birth in any family, but he is always the most exalted personality. This is the spiritual verdict. The living proof is Haridas Thakur, who was born into a Muslim family. Yet, what he saw and spiritually perceived is rarely experienced by even the most eminent personalities like Lord Brahma. Only the most wretched sinner will judge a Vaishnava by caste, race, or nationality, and for so doing he suffers the pangs of repeated birth in the lower species of life. Only the most wretched sinner will judge a Vaishnava by caste, race, or nationality. One who hears of this pastime of the Lord and Haridas Thakur with proper faith will certainly enjoy the fruit of Krishna Prem.
Yeah, you know, if you meet a person like Haridas, you you could say, like, if you're on the material platform, oh, who's your guru and all this. But the proper understanding is what the Lord says. It's the only way to attain Krishna, God, the true God, is by an intense desire to have that Lord. And Haridas manifested that. He loved chanting, and he was ecstatic in his chanting. So he had that desire, and so anybody who wants to get that desire, you got to understand that this is not normal. People don't have normally people don't have a desire like that to attain God. They may say, "Oh God, I really want you. I really love you, or I need you, and all this." But usually, you're just suffering, and you just want to get out. You don't actually love the Lord yet, not the transcendental Lord. You got to learn that by association and purification with a person like Haridas, who loves the Lord in a transcendental manner and fashion. You get, and then that love, the dormant love, awakens in your heart because it's inside of us, but it's dormant. You can't artificially produce it by rules and regulations and fastings and all that stuff. It's by association. That's why saviors come here who are actual devotees, who have that kind of desire. Otherwise, there's no way, you don't even know what you're desiring. See, you got to get purified. You got to see devotees worshiping and loving this invisible God, you know. All you just see them chanting the names of God, and they're falling in love, head over heels in love with that name. You need to see that. If you don't, and that's purifying in itself. And that gets you there, gets you closer. Then after a while, you yearn. See, your desire develops. Oh, yeah, I also want to chant. I also want to worship like this. Do you want to worship like that now, Sachi? Are you desiring to worship like this? Do you want to cry and choke up when you're just having this beautiful relation with the Lord? Do you want that?
Well, I get a relationship with the Lord. I don't laugh like the others do. Some of the others do. That's maybe we have different ways of manifesting that.
No,
But I
do you want this
but
ecstatic way?
the, I suppose I do. I can't say that I really do because that's not wouldn't be natural for me to say. I I I like knowing that I have a relationship with God too, in my own way, but right now I'm being put through a whole lot of tests
Mhm,
because a lot of the past keeps surfacing.
mhm.
I got 20 years, 25 years. And I'm trying to put it together, like I'm trying to put the past in the past, but it keeps surfacing. I get reminded of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got to
And
deal with
and
it.
it's like, and I really do like chanting with devotees. I mean, singing with instruments and Hare Krishna and everything in person,
Mhm,
not online.
mhm,
And I need that. And
mhm,
so, when I get it, it's so great. I love it.
mhm.
That's
Good,
where
yeah,
I get it.
yeah,
But,
yeah.
I guess
Yeah,
I'm just used to being in person more. I'm kind of grew up with 5 kids around, and I don't know, it's my process. And all of us got our process, and there may be some really weird shit that comes out of our mouths and stuff. And I got to accept it too.
Yeah, so I was just they still asking like, do you want see like Lalita Ganga's worship and my worship is the same and different.
Okay, I'll tell you what.
Wait,
If
listen,
to,
listen. Let me finish. Lalita Ganga's worship and my worship is same and different. Johan's is the same and different. See? So what I'm asking is, do you like that ecstatic kind of way that it's done with this manifestation of this very close, intimate relationship with the transcendental being in manifest in the name? You see, that's the point I'm trying to make.
okay, so my answer is I like it. It looks good. I like it on Johann. But if
Mhm.
it comes along with bad mouthing everybody else, all the Vaidis and the other gurus, if that's part of it, I don't like it. I don't. If I can have it, if I can laugh and cry without being bad mouthing every other devotees, then I would be more likely to say yeah. But that's where I'm at this point.
Mhm. Okay, so you wanna control how you'll be when you're ecstatic. You're saying,
You, Garhari, you have been throwing that control thing at me for a long
ah,
time.
what are you saying? I mean,
If people
you say you
really
want it a
knew,
certain way. It's I don't know. That's the way I interpret it. You say I want to be ecstatic like that, but with this
you
kind of
you know
standard.
what? You asked me the question, I gave you a sincere answer.
Yeah.
For you to judge it as control, that's my business, not yours.
Oh,
So there. And I'm glad you're laughing about it.
okay.
Really glad.
Yeah, I just felt like naming it. I just wanted to identify what is this going here. She
That's
wants.
that's what happened with that job. I went and applied for a job, and they said, "Would you be willing to be called a peer that also has like some mental problems?" And I'm like, "Do I really have to be labeled?" And they got somebody else, by the way. I prayed to Krishna that they would.
Yeah. See, Shamaguri, you got somebody on your side, Sachi. I can relate to Mary Sachi coming to the harshness among devotees in our Sangha.
Yay!
Like Jesus, he said, be like me. I like Gaur Haridas. He's my favorite flavor. Oh, I made this thing, with Amy. It turned out really great, man. Everybody's got to see that. It's beautiful. I don't know if she saw it, but it's great. The eye movements and everybody singing this song. It's like I feel good. The eyes turned out really good.
That's a video to be seen.
It's some kind of thing where they face over and with music and stuff. Yeah. So anyway, I'll put it up. So one temple I was in at plays these like commercial videos, how great only their sect is, like over again. I was there. It's the same as the world mind control game Ponder, that who they really yeah, that's just religion is basically it's still got the contamination of the worldly. They call it materialistic Vaishnavism. It has material motivation, and they sometimes use the same techniques. Yeah, it is what it is. Mary Sachi and Gohari are longtime friends, like brother and sister. Yeah. I have had a lot of association with those gurus. Srila Gohari Das Avadut Maharaj speaks it as it is. True, true, true. I'd never seen it so clear. Replying to Janaki, you are a connoisseur. You can compare. I love this. See, you got a fan out there, Sachi. Replying to Amy Rose,
I
are
got
you?
a I got a fan, and I got some enemies too, I think.
You got some enemies? Yeah. Well, hey, it comes with the territory. What are you going to do? I also got fans and enemies. And my enemies are the fans. They fan everything. They get me going, you know. Fan the fuel, man. They fan the fire. Give me some enemies over here. Let's fan our conversation a little bit. So it's just add some, air to get the fire stoked. A man so lost, has deluded himself into believing he is not, and coerces others to adopt the same delusion. Sad. Go live your life and make happiness for yourself. God isn't real. Don't be obedient to this fraud. Be obedient to this fraud. See, you can't get out of being a teacher. Either somebody's got to believe somebody, So he's thinking, this guy is afraid, there is no God. So believe him, there's no God. Believe him. He's not the fraud. See, so we're forced to accept, people who are talking to us or not accept them. So, Mister, you're doing the same thing. You're saying, "Oh, okay, I'm a fraud," and all this stuff, but you're doing the same thing. If anybody accepts what you're saying, then you're their teacher. You're teaching them. So people should ask a logical question: who's leading you closer to the truth, the absolute truth? Personally, I know there's a God, and that God is transcendental. But obviously, you don't believe in the God. To me, that's you're fraudulent. I mean, in truth, be honest with you. I don't. You are who you are, but to me, that's fraudulent. You're teaching there's no God. That's only frauds do that. I know the transcendental Lord. That's why I do what I do here, and I help people also get an encounter with that transcendental Lord. That's my work. That's what I'm here. You could also get one, but looks like you need some purification. This is already part of it. So
You
go ahead.
who?
Oh, some guy on Twitter. Was it Twitch or something? Maybe Twitter or Twitch. Somewhere. Some of these other things.
I thought you
Don't
were
be.
talking about me. I
Yeah,
still need purification. I know.
yeah, yeah. You see what I'm saying there? And that guy on Twitch. I'm talking. You're saying don't be obedient to this fraud. What? So they should be obedient to you and follow your instruction? You got to be obedient to somebody. So, do you have the better idea? You have the better conception? I don't know. It's not
Yeah,
attractive.
obedient to God, obedient to God, obedient to God, obedient to God. That's who I'd want to be obedient. That's the only one I'd want to be obedient to if I knew better. Sometimes we don't know better.
Yeah. Well, you get so obedient to God. Who's your rep? See the thing. That's a good question. Who is one's God? So you're being obedient to. Well, God are the rules from like inviting. God is my imagination about who God is and the rules and the regulations. I follow God's rules and regulations, and I do things. I'm obedient to the gurus teaching me whatever they're teaching me. See, so there's there's some obedience there. Um, what what is the obedience here? You're obedient to what? To coming? Yeah. Are you obedient? Can you follow this instruction? Coming regularly or watching the replays and really listening and chanting with us and learning about this process. Would you be obedient to that? I mean, to doing that, to following that? Or do you want to follow this guy on Twitch? Don't follow his instruction. God is a delusion.
Ultimately, I think we all, I'll speak for myself. I have to be obedient to who and how and what God made me. And if and even if I mess up, you know, at least I'll learn that. But I have to be obedient, and then and I know I also sometimes I don't so much don't want to do something, so much don't want to do something, and then like the other day you said, why don't you go out to the property, and
Yeah.
and don't just be bored, and don't just be have a risk-free life, and I was really glad that I did.
Yeah.
I don't always know,
Yeah. That's
but
true.
also we just want to, like, we all want to have our relationship with God, that's for sure.
Yeah. And we do, don't we? See, we do it every day. Tom, congregational chanting. Who is hard now? She's just her hard to serve. Let's see here. Okay. All right. I think that's enough. I'm ready. I'm ready to eat something. Okay. Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Sachi, for coming on and being yourself. That was very nice. Thank you, Tom, for coming on and being yourself. And thank you, Gohari, for coming on and being yourself. Hard ass self, so
What is this fraud thing? I don't
Oh,
know.
and
This
let's get a little Karuna up here. Karuna. Thank you for Karuna being our stage man. In the background there.
Can I say a little thing?
Yeah, that's enough there, Karuna. We don't want to trigger Sachi. Say something.
Karuna, actually, you trigger me about as much as Karuna does. Tell you the truth, sometimes
Oh,
in a different way. In a different way.
yeah.
Well, actually, no. There's times when I just don't even want to watch Karuna's thing. I can at least get on with your stuff.
Lalita says to you, she says, do you want a relationship in which you feel him, Krishna, living inside of you, in which you have real conversation with him?
Sometimes I already have that, and sometimes he's not there at all.
Ah, okay. Yeah. And Amy Rose says, we need this dedication. Mary Sachi is a team player. Boy, so
Well,
positive,
I'm
isn't it?
I'm
Isn't
really
Amy so
honest. I try to be honest. Honestly.
Man, Amy Rose is a good kind of friend, man.
Yeah, she's fun. She looks great in that cactus costume.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't see that one. I got to see that.
The green one.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that. I got to check it out. Give Karuna another couple seconds. This is a good. Everyone speaks their mind and gets through. Yeah. For the greater good, yes. Telling the truth is not bad mouthing. Oh my God, Sachi, why cannot you understand that we are selling Lord Chaitanya's transcendental body? So we need to advertise that what we sell is better. Ah, it's an interesting statement.
Well, there's different ways of advertising,
Yeah.
but you got your way. When I get I don't know, strong enough or whatever, I'll get to the point where I advertise more too, but I don't know if it'll be the same in the same way.
Yeah. Janardhan says the real of Amy is hilarious but cute at the same time. Janardhan, I'm a fan of Mary Sachi. Oh, look at that! You got another fan. Amy Rose says, I love this. We have fans and enemies. Yeah, and the enemies are our fans. Give you a nice, I like a fan. I feel cool. A lot of times, my enemies, I feel it's like a cooling breeze, Nice. I feel like they're fanning me and give me something to talk about.
I just thought of something.
Yeah? What?
In the case of when you speak up so much,
Mhm. Yes? She's froze. She froze in mid-sentence. Or did you?
She's back now.
Oh, you're back. Finish. Yeah, we didn't finish.
I did you hear what I said about enemies?
No, no.
You when you speak up when you speak up more and you say your truth, it's and what I call bad mouthing, and that's just how I learned. It's when you don't say something nice, then you're bad mouthing or whatever. But anyway, you know who your enemies are because they'll speak up. I may
Yeah,
have enemies and I don't even know who they are.
yeah, yeah.
So
Hey, I got a fan here. I got a fan. Fanning me on, man. It says, never said that. Do whatever you like. Okay. Who appointed you to lead these people? Oh, that's a good one. Oh, yeah.
who
Who
said that?
appointed this guy on Twitch? Who appointed you to lead? I lead myself, and that is all. Why do they listen to you? What gives you a oh, that's good. I like it, man. Hey, I like this guy. Hey, man. I love that kind of thing. Yeah, who gives you authority? Okay, let's see. So, who appointed you to lead these people? Good question, man. That's a great question. Yeah. So, Sachi, who appointed? Well, let's see. Should I ask Sachi or Karuna? Karuna, who appointed Gohari Das to lead these people?
Prabhupada Nityana Radharani.
Tom, who appointed Gohari to lead these people?
Lord Caitanya, of course.
Okay. Sachi, who appointed these people? Who appointed the who appointed what is this? Who appointed you to lead these people? Who appointed
Me or
Gohari?
you? Gorhari.
Yeah, who appointed Gohari to lead these people?
I may not know the answer because I'm too far back in the line. I'm the turtle.
Okay, the right answer is you did. You all did. You appointed. It's an election process, my friend. They don't have to appoint me. They don't have to come. They can say, I disappoint you. I'm going. I'll see you later, man. You appointed me. That's why you're here, right? Karuna appointed me. Tom, right? You guys appointed me. Otherwise, why would I be here? Who appointed me? They did. Obviously, you didn't appoint me to lead you, right? See? Because, yeah. See, I lead myself. See, I guess I'm not appointed by you. See, it's just simple stuff. Who appointed you? Like we gotta have, well, God did, or Lord Caitanya. No, you guys did. You know, you're somehow or other you're saying we elect you as the leader of our group here, right? Nobody's tying your hands and feet. Why do they listen to you? Okay, let me ask that question. Tom, why do you listen to Gohari Das?
Because I feel here's this functionality, this upgrade. It's alive here, and by associating, that there's progress, and even if there are some things I cannot yet appreciate, I I learn to distinguish the quality here, and learn to appreciate the 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 genuine source Satchidananda that is coming from here.
So you get some benefit, I guess.
I didn't think in that term.
So why do you listen to this guy, Karuna?
Hello. Turn your phone down. Why do I listen? Because you are the epiphany of what a spiritual master should be. An ecstatic an ecstatic devotee who relishes the pastimes and names of God in ecstasy, which is the sum and bowman of Vaishnava etiquette, Vaishnava life, Vaishnava way of being. Find in a bona fide ecstatic spiritual master, surrender, listen to them, and serve them. And the doors of Vaikuntha are closed, and the doors to Goloka Vrindavan are swung wide open.
Yeah. Well, what? So, what benefit do you get from hearing that? That's the philosophy and all that. But what?
Oh, benefit!
Yeah. What is it?
I can be a rascal, but I can do it for Krishna.
I see. Okay. How about you, Sachi? Why do you listen to this Gaur Haridas?
Karuna is honest also.
Yeah.
I listened to you because you brought me to Krishna, basically. Or at least you were there when Krishna showed up. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And you told me all about him. And I keep coming because it feels right. And there's times when I really fight about it too.
Yeah.
But we have to go through our process.
And here's the last question. He says, "And what gives you Gaur Haridas authority? What gives you authority?" So, Karuna,
What gives that guy authority to ask the questions he asks?
Your love for Radha and Krishna gives you authority.
Again, the same answer as the first one. You give the authority. Right? You're the one giving the authority because he's not. See, you can see he's a good way to see the difference. He's not giving me authority. He's I don't want to listen to you. I just listen so I can just share that I'm not a listener. I'm not one of you. So, see, so you're not giving me authority, but they are. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here. That's why you'll probably not come back. Maybe you will. I don't know. Maybe you like. Maybe you find interest in this, in the truth, because that's why we're here for truth. See. So who gives authority? Tom gives me authority. Karuna gives me authority. Sachi gives me authority. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do this. See. Now, there's a difference. See, who gives those people? Who gives those people authority to follow, say, Bill Gates, to be a follower of Bill or Fauci? Well, either of those two. Who gives them? Who gave them authority? I would say the same thing. You followers of them, you're giving them authority. Same thing. See, it's taking responsibility. You're giving them authority. See? But what is it? Yeah.
By not speaking up and bad mouthing them.
No. They're giving authority because they listen and believe in what they say.
And I'm saying, I'm saying that I'm not speaking up and giving them a hard time, and so I'm just allowing it to happen. I'm not about quote unquote bad mouthing them. I'm giving my bad mouthing
That's not
a hard time right now.
That's not the idea. I'm talking about those who give them authority. The sheeple, people call them sheeple, but the sheeple, we all obey some kind of authority in a sense. Okay, so they're giving their authority to those persons. So the thing, an intelligent person could ask the question, what is the result? Well, it's a lot of people have died by giving their authority for this thing, or they've got to, kind of weird. It's very dicey, that thing, I mean, and they're scrambling to hide all the facts, and it's all, so there's a lot of dicey things about giving your authority to people like that, because they lie and they cheating and they hypocrites. So what is the result of giving authority to Goharis? I think people can ask that question. Are you experiencing what result you experience? That could be your own witness, but because I don't have a lot of people here, I would assume it would be more freedom, more intelligence, more knowledge, more command and about the functionality of how to maneuver in this life, how to become more free, how to become free of the illusions and these demons and the demigods who are controllers of their followers, who give them authority. See, so here you're giving me authority to do and say what I say, but what is the result of that? Is more freedom for you. Theirs is more, in a sense, the different levels of freedom. Like if you listen to the demons who are lying and cheating and confusing you and telling lies as truth, then you're getting less freedom. You're becoming more fearful, more in bondage, more limited. If you give the demigod types who teach you morals and maybe religion and like fastings and all of this, it makes you more free. Not completely free, but more free. Okay? Here is you become liberated soul. You get even more than liberation here, because there's people who teach the Mayavadi level, the oneness level, one love, and all that, and you become a little more liberated. And this is full liberation. You get in your eternal constitutional position, your spiritual constitutional position. You notice how people have a constitution in this world? See, oh, I have a constitution. This is my rights as a living person and all that, right? I have a constitution. Well, actually, we have a spirit. That's just temporary for this body. When you incarnate again, maybe you incarnate in North Korea, then where's your constitution? You got no constitution. See, it's temporary. See, my constitution that I got is permanent. It's eternal. I'm constitutionally a servant of the Lord, Krishna, Lord, and I'm a servant of the servants of the Lord. We're all. If you come into this and you give your authority to this guy, that's what you're going to learn. How that you'll have the same kind of position I have. I'm a servant of the transcendental Lord. See, so to me, that's the best deal of all. Then you get freedom from birth and death. A lot of perks come with that. It's like getting a company car when you're with a great company. When you're with a really first-class company, it's very wealthy. You get a nice car and benefits and a nice hotel. And here you become part of this company, the eternal company of Lord Caitanya. You're part of his company. You sing with him and dance with him on the stage. Okay? You get what do you call transportation expenses? You can go to any once you're finished with the preaching here. You go anywhere. You can preach in any universe or anywhere you want. You get the ultimate freedom here. Yeah. So I think it's a good deal here. So they give me authority. Everybody's given authority. Who gives Bill Gates authority? Who gives Fauci authority? Well, they get it by hook and crook and all those other ways. My way, my authority just comes from chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra for 40 years. Well, not 40 exactly, but on and off. And for chanting a long time and having my life experiences, that's the authority. So why do they listen to you? Well, I guess they're getting benefit. Why don't they listen to you? Why don't you try? Why don't you come on live, man? You can come on live here. Let's see if anybody will listen to you. See if you got more power than this guy here. So his name is Radicule. Radicule instead of ridicule. He's Radicule. So Radicule, why don't you come on live? Let's see if anybody will listen to you. I invite you. Come on live. Give us. See if you can attract these people to give their power over to you. So let's see. Anything else? Fraud. That's your answer. Yeah. Can't you expound upon that a little bit more? So you don't understand any. I thought, didn't I present this kind of logically and in a detached way, honest way? And he calls. I think you're projecting, man. After such a nice conclusion, clear, clarifying the whole thing, and you say this is fraudulent. I think you're projecting now because you're not making sense. You're illogical. Wow, you guys are going, man. Gee, what you must have hundreds of comments. There's no way I can go through all those comments, man. That means it's a good class. See, Sachi, thank you for coming. You really sparked a good get people popping, percolating. Thanks, Karuna, for your cameo appearance today. My God, I can't believe how many comments there are today. So many. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Thanks everybody for all your